All right, guys, this is Donnie and Sandra. We are coming to you from our kitchen, and we are going to be making
rye sandwich bread.
Rye sandwich bread. Now, that's the puppy dogs. They've been running in the kitchen, chasing each other, and they're barking at each other because they're wanting. Kiki is wanting to play as usual.
Yeah, Kiki.
What's going on with you?
She said, "I like playing."
Are you coming here for a nourishment?
Yeah.
Are you getting? Yep.
Oh,
Are you getting parched from all this running around? Any rate, we're gonna make a Reuben, and we got some corned beef. You have to excuse the mess. A messy kitchen means the food is good, and I'm gonna try to keep this from getting steamed up. But there's the corned beef. It is cooking, and it takes how long?
10 hours.
10 hours.
It smells amazing.
But at any rate, we started that about 5 in the morning, and so, but we are
homemade sauerkraut.
Homemade sauerkraut. If you guys remember that video, I'll have a link in the description below, and you can check that out. And this is going on this sandwich. We're going to do that at the same time.
Yep.
And so, but the bread will be homemade. We're going to mill it.
This should be the best Reuben we've ever had. Reuben sandwich is one of my favorite sandwiches.
So
now,
what are we doing here?
Okay, so I got this recipe off the Rose Red Homestead. She got this from the King Arthur, so Donnie's going to link that in the description.
Yeah.
This is a King Arthur recipe.
Look in the description below, guys, and you will see this recipe.
But I will be milling my own wheat for this, so you don't have to. You can buy rye flour and all-purpose flour and make it yourself.
Okay.
But I'm going to mill my own wheat. So it calls for 300 grams of the bread flour, which we're going to use the hard white wheat.
Okay, and what we're doing here, guys, for you guys that don't know, we bought a scale on Amazon. It's called Amazon Basics.
Yep.
You said it cost under $12 for it?
Yeah, like 11 and
so,
change. So we're just going to dump this.
We're going to measure this out.
Right there. Perfect. 300.
Okay, 300.
And then it calls for 138 grams of the rye.
And this is what the rye looks like. Now, this right here is the hard white. That's what the hard white looks like.
And
the rye is more of a greener color. Yeah. It's got a greener tint to it, darker.
I'm curious to see what this smells like milling.
And how much are you going with this one?
138.
138.
So press the tear button to get it zeroed out again. If not, you'll have to do math.
Okay.
If you forget, I've forgotten before.
And you want it, it's very important to be exact, right?
Yeah, you don't want too much of this rye either because it's a very predominant flavor. There we go. Perfect. 138.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to go over to our mill and mill our wheat. We're going to mix everything in my new Bosch mixer. We have, let's see, the water, and this calls for pickle juice. So we've got 2/3 to 7/8 of a cup. It's very varying. It says if it's more humid or it's summertime to go to the lesser. So that's what I did. And 3/4 a cup of pickle juice. Now I warm this up to about 100 to 110 degrees. And then we've got our, let's see, our vegetable oil. It calls for 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. That in there. It calls for 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. It calls for a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. It calls for 3/4 of a cup of potato flakes. And then I'm going to start adding our flour. Let's see. Put this lid on.
got it?
All right, we just want to combine this together. We just want to combine this together, and then we're going to cut it off and let it sit for 20 minutes to let the water absorb. The one thing about freshly milled flour is you have to let the water absorb into it. The one thing about freshly milled flour is you have to let the water absorb into it. So once this comes in together, I'm going to let it sit for 20 minutes. Okay, I ended up adding more water because it wasn't coming together well. I ended up adding the full amount, the 198. I got to thinking, since I'm using freshly milled flour, it's thirstier than regular flour, and this recipe was written for regular store-bought flour. So I'm going to let this hang out for 20 minutes. I'm going to cover it up with the lids and allow that moisture, the water, to absorb into the flour. That's something else you need to do with freshly milled flour. The recipe actually even calls for that, and they're using store-bought flour. So we're going to let this hang out for 20 minutes. I'm going to add my yeast. I haven't forgotten it. It's right here. But we're not going to add it just yet because we don't want to start activating or anything. So we're going to sit here, let it hang out for 20 minutes, and then we're going to add our yeast, mix, and then we're going to start our kneading process.
And I'm going to sweep the floor.
Yep.
All right.
All right, it's been 20 minutes. I did not mention something when I was putting the ingredients in the bowl. The recipe calls for caraway seeds, which is traditional in rye bread, and dill seeds. But we don't like seeds in our bread. When we buy rye bread in the store, we always buy the seedless. So I did not add those. If you want to add those, feel free to. So we're going to take this lid off. We're going to add our yeast. This is what it looks like now. It's absorbed the water. It feels good. Smells very pickly, rye. Okay, so we're going to add one and a half teaspoons of this is rapid yeast or instant yeast. Do not make the mistake that I made. And when I first started making bread, I was using the active dry yeast, and I was just adding it to my flour like this, and my bread was not turning out. I finally watched one video where a lady said, if you're using active dry yeast, you need to proof it in your water and get it activated before you start adding your flour and stuff. This is instant yeast, and it is okay to do this too. Not the active. Okay, there's my footnote.
All right.
So we're going to start mixing this. I'm not going to put the lid on. We're good. We're going to start mixing this, and the yeast is going to get mixed in. It smells really good in here. Okay, so we think that's pretty much mixed in. Now we're going to start the kneading process. We're going to turn this on, and we're going to let it knead for 7 minutes. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. Okay, let this go for 7 minutes.
All right, take that lid off. I just want to let them see how this, for those that don't know what the Bosch mixer is like, I like this a whole lot better than the other mixer. It's strong. You can tell it's really strong. This is a Haas.
And the kneading process creates the gluten in the bread, which makes it rise. And so that's what we're doing when we're kneading it.
Okay. All right.
See y'all back in 7 minutes. Okay, so we've kneaded it for 7 minutes, and you can see how this is like stretched. See, we've created gluten here, and I'm going to show you a way to tell that you've created gluten and it's good to go. So this is called the window pane test. If you take some dough, my hands are a little damp so it doesn't stick, and you're going to stretch it out, and if you can see the light through it like that before it starts breaking, see my finger? That's a perfect window pane test.
Yeah, that turned out real good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the hook out. Oh yeah, this feels really good. Get this. Now you can transfer this to a oiled bowl, but I'm just since this has got the lid on it. That's the good thing about this Bosch mixer is you can just leave it to let it proof in this bowl. You got the lid. So we're going to Spray our bowl a little bit. Ooh. Just so it doesn't stick. We're going to move it back over here. I'm going to shape it into a little ball. There we go. Okay, so we're going to let this sit and we're going to let it rise for 1 to 2 hours. And it should possibly double in size. So we'll see you back here in a little over an hour.
All right.
Cover it up. All right, as you can see, it has doubled in size, and we are going to take it out of the bowl. It took right at an hour, maybe a little over an hour and 10 minutes. But it's a warm summer day, so it feels so good. I love the feeling of dough.
I know, I got to go outside and mow still.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to degas it. So we're going to smash it out. And I saw this on a couple different YouTube. I've been watching YouTube videos like crazy. A couple different YouTube videos. Ladies did this and it worked out really good. So we're going to roll it out into a rectangle, sort of. An oval. Anyways. We're going to fold it in like an envelope. This side. And we're going to fold it in this side. And then we're going to roll it again. And then we're going to roll it up into like a log shape. Pull a little bit as you're rolling. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to close the ends up a little bit. Make a nice little log. The seam side down. And this is called a Pullman loaf pan. I always line it with some wax paper, and I reuse this wax paper several times until it's not good anymore. But we're going to put it in here. This is always a trick.
You need me to...
Yeah. It's always a trick getting it in here. There we go. Well, those clips were supposed to help. Doesn't really help that much. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put it in this pan. Now, what we're going to do is, we want this to be kind of dense and not rise. It's going to rise to the top of the pan, but we're going to put the lid on it because this is, like I said, this is called a Pullman. This will make a completely square loaf of bread. So we're going to slide the lid on.
Okay, so you don't want it to have that.
I don't want it to rise.
That big. Yeah.
No,
okay.
I want it to stay dense. So I'm going to, I sprayed the lid of this pan so it doesn't stick once it cooks. I'm going to slide that on. Now I'm going to slide it on until I can see it. That way I'll know when it gets up to about here is when I'm going to preheat the oven and bake it. So this should probably take about another hour.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to put this on here so the air can't get to it or anything else. So,
this is a shower cap.
yeah. This is one of the tools of the trade. It's plastic shower caps. That way you don't have to cut. I had been covering them with like wet dishcloths and or wet towels, and this way I don't have to do that. So I'm gonna sit it over here on the stove.
So you said 1 hour?
1 hour.
That should be enough time for me to mow this grass.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's been an hour, and we have achieved the rise. If you can see that, it's touching the top.
Yeah, it's right up to it.
So we're going to try to close this up very gently. Okay. All right, we're going to put it in the oven. I got it preheated at 350. We're going to bake this for 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Come back, we will have bread. All right. It smells so good in here, y'all. We are done.
Yeah, like opening up a Christmas present.
Uh-huh. All right, y'all ready?
Survey says... It's hard opening up with them mittens. Well, it definitely looks like it didn't try to escape out the package.
Nope. Are you ready?
It slid right on out.
Yep. That's what I love about using this parchment paper. We're going to let it cool on the side. It just doesn't deflate whenever you do that.
It definitely smells good.
It does smell delicious. It got nice and brown. Yep.
Now flip it on the other side. Yeah.
It kind of it looks like it might have stuck right there, but anyways, but yeah, it feels soft. It's nice, feels nice and soft.
I'm not going to touch it because I've been outside handling limbs, and I'm sweating profusely, so I don't need to be getting too close to that bread.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna take the corned beef out and slice it, and when we come back, we will make us a delicious Reuben sandwich.
All right, we're back when we're going to make these sandwiches up. This is the bread, the finished product.
I think it turned out very good.
It really turned out nice, guys. And this is freshly milled grain that was used to make this bread. And yeah, it really is amazing. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you how the sandwich is made. At first we wasn't. We were just going to put it together and cook it and just show you the end result. But Sandra thought it'd be a good idea for those that probably don't know how to put one of these sandwiches together. Now, the meat. Let's talk about the meat here just for a second. This meat here, where'd you get it? Do you remember?
I think I got it at Aldi. Okay,
it's Aldi's. Now, guys, there is a chemical that is used in this meat that I was not aware of, or I would not have bought it. We wouldn't have gotten it. It's called sodium nitrite. Sodium nitrite. It can be damaging to veins. And so, for some of you that are aware, or some of you that don't aware, I've been battling vasculitis since the first of this year. This is 2024, and at the time of this recording, January, I broke out for the first time with vasculitis. And what you can do if you don't know what vasculitis is, for time's sake, just look it up. But I have a, what do you call it, a small capillary deal with it. And I can break out on my thighs and legs, usually, or on my forearms. But basically what happens is blood escapes out the veins, and it comes to your skin, underneath your skin, but it looks like a rash. But it can be it can be life-threatening. And so, and there's different different layers, I guess you could say, different types of vasculitis. And so I am one of the fortunate ones that does have not as life-threatening. Yes. And so, but
we still try to limit our processed foods.
I try to limit. This is one of the reasons why I started changing my diet big time. And so, because the doctor said that all my lab results came back normal. And they said they don't know why I'm having this issue. I had a biopsy done. It came back as vasculitis. But all it's showing is that my veins are inflamed. That's it. They have absolutely no idea what's causing this. They said it looks like it's something I have ingested. Something I'm having an allergic reaction to. And so, like I said, every now and then I'll break out. But sodium nitrite, if you want to steer clear from this, go to Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's has an uncured. You want to stay away from any cured meats, so anything uncured will not have the nitrates.
Anything that is uncured is what you want to get. Or you want to go to Trader Joe's. They have one. Just look for, if anything that has sodium nitrite in it, just steer away from it.
It specifically says on their label nitrate and nitrite free.
Okay. Good deal. All right.
So this is our homemade Thousand Island dressing. I made it with mayonnaise, ketchup, and my mama's sweet pickles, or 7-day pickles. So we're going to put some of that on it. It's so yummy. This is really good.
All right.
Okay. So then we're going to...
You just put on one side.
Yeah, this is because we're going to put some brown mustard on the other side. This is typically when I put my cheese on. And then I wedge my sauerkraut in the middle, because hopefully when I flip it, the cheese will kind of glue it in there. So here's our homemade sauerkraut.
This is the homemade sauerkraut, y'all.
I'm going to squeeze it out a little bit so it's not so juicy. Okay, let's stick some of that on there. Okay, then we're going to put some of this is our secret ingredient.
Schlotzsky's. Any of y'all that know Schlotzsky's, there used to be one around here. That is an absolutely fantastic restaurant. Yeah. But there is one, Rock Hill area, Fort Mill, or somewhere in that area of South Carolina. they have one there. So
There's
we
one in
bought
North
some
Carolina.
sauce.
There's one in North Carolina too.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have them in North Carolina, but it just seems like that's been years ago that I remember seeing that.
All right, we're gonna put on our corned beef. I would go a little less time in the crock pot next time. I think this it's not dry, but it's just it's very tender. But I would just go a little, and then we're gonna put some spicy mustard on this other side. Okay.
All right.
All right, and then we're gonna butter the bread, and then we're gonna put it on the griddle and toast it up on both sides.
All right.
They're not so heavy on the butter.
All right, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to toast this, and how long are you toasting this? Just till the bread's brown.
Just so the bread's brown and cheese starts melting.
Okay. All right, and we'll show you the end result here in just a second. All right, here is the end result, and Sandra's going to give it a quick taste.
Let me take my
There's
glasses on. Can't eat with my glasses on.
It really looks good,
It does
y'all.
really look good.
All right, here we go. You're the one that made it, so you get the taste.
That's good. I'm sorry. That makes me very happy. That is so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The rye bread is really good.
And you're getting, and like I said, the nutrients that's there. I mean, I just really hate that we didn't know about that meat having that sodium nitrite in it, and so, but you know, and it's not like we eat this all the time, and so this is an extremely rare occasion that we're eating one of these, and so, but if they have meat that does not have that sodium nitrite in it, maybe I'll be eating it a little bit more, and so
sauerkraut is on point. I just got a hint of that schlotzsky sauce.
The schlotzsky sauce is just awesome. All right, guys. Well, we hope that you've learned something. We hope this inspires you.
Yep.
And so don't be afraid of it. And so this is the first time you actually saw us make rye bread for the first time.
Delicious.
And it's really good. It turns out really good. And so, but again, I will say this. To do the job right, you got to have the best tools that you can get. And so some of the things that we use, you know, there are other options that you can use. And you know, instead of getting the Bosch mixer, isn't there another cheaper brand?
There's the Nutramil.
A Nutramil. And so the thing about the Bosch is that it has a blender attachment on the side. The Nutramil does not. But it looks to be about the same thing. And so you guys might want to look at that, do some reviews on it before you buy it, but it may be a cheaper way to go.
You can get for that too. They make a food processor attachment that goes in the middle right here where this lid is. I want to get that eventually. There's other, I can't remember. You can actually get a oatmeal flaker for this. You turn it on its side and you can flake if you want to flake the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Like we do. There's different attachments for this one. That's why we got this one.
Yeah. Okay, guys. You guys take care. We hope you've enjoyed it.
And I'm going to enjoy the sandwich.
Y'all take care. Bye-bye.